Jasmine Crockett's 5-star habits. I mean, this woman is taking luxury to a whole new level here. Jasmine Crockett, you know her. You know who I'm talking about. The one who rose to, can we call it fame? How about infamy? Infamy. When she decided to target Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember this? Oh, it's
minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
I'm trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
I had no idea what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm down.
No,
Don't mess
because
with
this is
Jasmine.
what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want
Calm
me to be-
down.
No,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if
Look,
I
Chairman,
come and
Chairman,
talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
I will never forget this day. I was actually supposed to go on live on Newsmax, and this like happened that day, and somehow they played it and they went to me, and I'm like, are you serious? I mean, that just makes everybody look bad, right? And there's Comer like, what? I'm sorry now. Like, what? And then what does that woman do? Communist that she is, she goes out and she trademarks it. I'm sorry, you can only trademark something like that in the good old United States of America because we have things like, intellectual property laws, courtesy of Benjamin Franklin, one of those awful founding fathers that you just love to hate on because our founding fathers are the whole reason for somehow the demise of America, despite the fact that we have risen to become the envy of the world, the number one economy in the world. Well, all of her spending is getting exposed, you guys. Her high-flying ways. This is a woman who went to a private school. You see, a private school in Missouri, but she tries to talk like she's from the hood. Okay, so here's a Fox story. Texas progressive spends eye-popping cash on luxury hotels travel as Senate rumors grow. Don Becca was making this point in the chat earlier, and Don, I hear. In other words, she has nowhere to go, right? It's over in Texas for one Jasmine Crockett. She will no longer be a representative. I mean, thank goodness. I mean, this woman does not belong in politics. I actually think deep down she's hoping for a gig at MSNBC. I hear there's an opening. Yeah. Jen Psaki's numbers aren't so good. And, well, Rachel, you may get some competition from this lady, all right? I mean, can you top bleach bit whatever the rest was? Comer doesn't know either. Anyway, so she wants a gig maybe at MSNBC. In the meantime, how does she support herself? Well, she's got to find another office to run for. And apparently, she's eyeing a Senate seat. It's kind of funny given that this woman has some rather, as I said, suspicious spending habits for somebody who is a quote unquote progressive, a quote unquote, I'm just going to say it, a total commie. Okay. Like that is the direction she's sending things in, just like AOC, just like, Sanders, I guess he started some of this, and just like Ma'am Dommy, Crockett's filing show luxury hotel and transportation expenses in Martha's Vineyard, because I'm telling you, every commie likes to go to Martha's Vineyard, go kiss the ring of one Barack Obama. Okay, then you got Chicago, New York City, Las Vegas, San Francisco, Los Angeles. I remember reading a recent article on her, and it was talking about her at her suite at the Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta. And I'm like, her suite? Are you kidding me? She travels in such a way that she has to have a suite? Oh, you betcha. She likes the sweet stuff. Okay, so this was Texas's 30th congressional district that she represents. It includes Dallas. She's not spending a lot of time in Dallas. No. More expenses. Okay, campaign spending of $25,748, all to house one Jasmine Crockett since the month of January, all on high-end hotels, all on limousine services. You got $41.75 going to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, $23.04 to the Luxury Collection. Other expenses include $5,326 to West Hollywood Edition in Los Angeles, $1,173 to Times Square Edition in New York City. Edition, she must like Marriott's here because the Edition, you see she gets the Marriott points. The Ritz-Carlton is a Marriott, the Luxury Collection, part of the Marriott's, the Edition, all part of the Marriott's. I think the Marriott family is actually rather conservative. You know, they live up on Lake Winnipesaukee in the summer right next to Mitt Romney. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Cosmopolitan, I think that's also a Marriott. $2,000 there. In Vegas, she's spending big, $2,700. Oh, and then in Martha's Vineyard, $3,160 at the Edgartown Inn, a very nice hotel. I got to tell you, the lady's got some taste when it comes to hotels. She may not have taste otherwise, but she's got some very expensive taste when it comes to how she travels. And this is going to be a problem for her, a big problem.
Trying to run for Texas Senate seat against Senator either John Cornyn or whoever comes out of that primary. You are seeing a woman who's not spending an awful lot of time in Texas. That whole list of places she's been living high on the hog, I didn't see anything mentioning Dallas or Houston
Not been in
or
Amarillo.
Laredo or Amarillo. Right. She's all across the country making sure that she is getting taken care of, that her nails look fabulous, and that she is sounding off however she wants to.
Well, let's be honest. They do not have a Ritz-Carlton, I do not believe, or a Four Seasons Hotel. Oh, no, she wouldn't do Four Seasons. It's not part of the Marriott family. Or an Edition Hotel in Amarillo, Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leslie, if you're watching, let me check the chat. I mean, so she's got kind of a problem here. She's eyeing this opportunity, as I said, as the future in the Democrat Party. But again, she's got this spending issue, not just on hotels, but of course, also on limos. Okay, 4,000. No, this is for you. Transportation for you. 2,728. To them out of Chicago, 2,310 to a DCA, I guess that's DC car service. Bay Area, 1,254. And then in Chicago at some point, I guess on Yelp, transportation for you actually, is this like a marketing deal? I mean, apparently they're posting her on the website. It says smiling casually and dressed in a red sweater on Yelp. So she's got some kind of deal with them. Her security expenses. Oh, she says she doesn't have enough. She needs more security because she wants to campaign for Senate. And she's going to be the next senator from Texas. She needs security up the wazoo. I mean, please. Okay, $50,000 on security expenses, despite repeatedly calling for defunding the police. I think that's the sort of the crux of it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you want to defund the police. Okay, I'm going to take everybody's tax money. I'm going to take it away from the police. You're not allowed to have any police, but I need lots of police. I mean, it reminds me of Mayor Brandon Johnson out in Chicago. He's got 153 police officers working the detail of he and his wife. He was asked, would you give up one, maybe two, to the rest of the city to help everybody else? Because, they're kind of understaffed on the police front. And he doesn't understand. He doesn't actually see that there's any sort of flaw in his logic. They want to defund the police all while giving more and more and more security and police for themselves. These people are a cancer. I'm just going to say it to society. We got to get rid of this kind of mindset, all right? We are a meritocracy. We are the greatest economy in the world. We live better than anyone else in the world. Why? Because we are capitalists, not because we're going to succumb to the likes of the Jasmine Crockett's of the world, or the Brandon Johnsons of the world, or the Zohan Mandamis of the world, for goodness sakes, or AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who cannot even speak Spanish. Please, the Irish girl can, she can't. I'm sorry, $50,000 on security expenses, despite repeatedly calling for defunding the police. In 2021, meanwhile, she was, new on the scene as the Texas House of Representatives gal who goes on and on to Marjorie Taylor Greene about her butch body. I think that's what it was. The defund movement seeks to actually bring about healing and finally invest in our communities, she was saying back then, to make them safer, addressing the root causes of crime, and by allowing the professionals to do their respective jobs. Defund is about finally being smart on crime. She said defund is about lightening the load for offices of all things they didn't sign up for. Defund is about being fiscally responsible when it comes to policing in this state. Okay, so I'm just kind of curious. This is a Fox News story, and they actually reached out to her to say, hey, Jazzy, what do you think? I mean, is it really fair that you're calling for more and more security detail, all while simultaneously wanting to deprive the people of Dallas and the rest of the country of this? No, it's not fair. Meanwhile, here's where it gets interesting. This is something. Okay, so we're talking about $370K from PACs, super PACs. She used to be against super PACs. She actually went off on Governor Greg Abbott and said, unlike him, I'm not taking money from super PACs, but it turns out she is taking money from super PACs. And not only is she taking money from super PACs, she's actually taking them from foreign nations. And I think this is where you've got to actually spend some time and focus here.
Make a decision, or at least get a vote.
Okay, so that was a little clip of Jasmine in all her splendor and all her glory, speaking to some wealthy donors. They're probably from a super PAC. I don't know, but she just can't help herself. She's slipping in the F-bombs, wherever she can, because she's got a way of talking, shall we say. You used to hear her talk when she was first campaigning, and she sounded like the prim little proper girl from Missouri that she was, right? That went to private schools and had a two-parent household with two working parents. I think her mom was a teacher, and her dad was somehow. I could be wrong on this, but I think he might have been a pastor or somehow involved in religion. Anyway, the point being, she grew up with two parents and had every privilege afforded to her and went to an expensive college, this, that, and the other. And yeah, every chance she gets, she just slips in those F-bombs, and then she goes off with her little ghetto talk that no one, I think, really fundamentally is buying. Well, I don't know. Maybe some stupid people buy it. Here we go. She called Governor Greg Abbott, Hot Wheels. Remember that? That was kind of a slur. And saying he was just awful, and that she had accepted $0 from corporate PACs while he and her opposition, I should say, had taken $192,000. But it turns out when they went back and they looked at the data, the financial disclosure data for July 5th through December 31st, 2020, when she was out there saying that, we saw a different picture, because disclosures show that she was actually taking super PAC money all over Dallas, right? 22 different entries from donors described as giving her anywhere from $500 to $5,000. And then this is the real kicker. She had not only PAC and non-PAC donors in big companies. I mean, Goldman Sachs, one of my former employees, for goodness sakes, was giving money to her. BlackRock was giving money to her. You had also Lockheed Martin, McDonald's, Home Depot. They're all, I mean, is this not trying to buy influence or what? It seems a little bit to me. I mean, it's one thing to, I don't know. This is just kind of seedy. I mean, this is part of the problem, I would just say, with politics for $370,000. And now here's where it gets really seedy, okay? So you see this nice fancy resort? This is in Doha, in Qatar. $17,500 was apparently the estimated total cost of Miss Jasmine Crockett's fancy little trip to Qatar. And kind of a lavish trip. I mean, she got to stay at the Waldorf Astoria. I mean, hey, another no, forgive me. I think that might be a Hilton property. See, I know my luxury hotels. But you know what? I'm not running for Senate. I'm not a member of Congress. I'm not out there asking for my vacation to be paid by the likes of Qatar, all while I am voting on things that might influence them. You understand how this is actually kind of a problem? Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump said it well. He said she was totally stupid. She actually is more stupid in his view than AOC. And I think that's saying a lot, because AOC is pretty stupid, given where, or maybe there's a method to AOC's madness, right? Because she figures, more for me. I get my private jets, I get my private planes, let them eat cake. We should have held on to that shutdown forever, because, who cares? Who cares about the 46 million people that are going to lose their SNAP benefits? I don't care if I'm AOC, right? As long as I'm sitting pretty. Hey, she was still getting paid. Think about that. Both AOC and Jasmine Crockett were still collecting their paychecks, while Americans, including members of the military, were not. So a while back, a couple months ago, he hit the nail on the head, Donald Trump, that is, in this post that I dug up, because he said, when we examine her test scores, that of AOC, we will find out that she is not qualified for office. But nevertheless, she's far more qualified than Crockett, who is, quote, seriously low IQ individual. Yeah, she's a low IQ individual. I think so. I actually happen to think so. I think that said, perhaps the lowest of them all, and she's proving it out on her book tour, would be one Kamala Harris. And it's pretty scary to think we were that close. Guys, we were that close to having a moron like that take over for an ailing moron like Joe. I mean, we got lots of morons out there. We need smart people, more and more smart people. But you can understand why none of them are really attracted to politics, given the ATLL that they put one Donald Trump through and his family through, and what they're trying to put J.D. Vance through and the rest of them. Anyway, this woman is who you're going to attract. Lucky Dems, okay? Low IQ. He was kind of funny. He said Alexandria ought to go back to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she, quote, represents, and which she never goes to anymore. Funny how that is. And then he goes on about crying Chuck Schumer and predicts that Chuck is on very thin ice and is probably going to lose his gig. And what do you know? This is a couple of months ago, and here we are, fast forward to today on November 12th. And ladies and gentlemen, I think Chuck Schumer is going to lose his gig. So that was the right call, Donald Trump. Here, again, is the woman with the low IQs vacation spot in Doha. Nice, okay? This is, again, as I said, the Waldorf Astoria. I believe that's part of the Hilton chain. So she's, breaking out from the Marriott, but hey, why not? They're paying for it. Here's where she stayed. And apparently this is all thanks to a group that's linked to the country's government. Like, does anybody see kind of an issue with that? I mean, as we think about, for example, what Hillary Clinton is up against, as we think about how Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are coming forward, apparently with evidence alongside Pam Bondi that they're bringing to Congress about their concerns about conflicts of interest. And you're going back a ways there, right? Because Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State while Billy was out there, hat in hand, allegedly, say, hey, cough it up. And so that's kind of a conflict. And I think that's pretty evident. How is this allowed? I would just ask, why would she be able to be on a $17,500 trip to the Waldorf Astoria in Doha as a member of Congress? I think we got to get rid of all those things, frankly. I mean, otherwise it just, at least for appearance's sake, seems pretty sketchy. I mean, the ethics committee needs to jump forward now and say, was this reasonable? Was this necessary? Did she really need a suite at the Waldorf? I mean, apparently, girl after my own heart, okay? But I'm telling you, I'm not the one running for Congress. That's my business if I choose to stay in nice hotels and want a suite. I'm sorry, it's a matter of taxpayers' business, one Jasmine Crockett, when you're doing it. So this is a big problem for her, and I imagine it's not going away, in part because she's elevated herself to a position where she actually wants to take on one Ted Cruz out of Texas. Yeah, that's her plan. Reminder, subscribe, share, like. This is Jasmine Crockett. I think she's just a little bit high here. She has no other prospects career-wise. She's not a very talented lawyer. And so what is she going to do? I mean, how the heck is she going to get to stay at the Waldorf in Doha, Qatar? Unless she appears as though she's looking for something bigger. Right now she's thinking Senate. Some people think she might be thinking even bigger. Here she is talking about her big plans to take on Ted Cruz. Notice there's a form of word salad that you're about to see. It's a different kind of word salad. It's word salad with personality, so I'll give her that, but believe me, it's word salad. She doesn't know what to say, so she keeps repeating herself, increasingly with more emphasis. I noticed this, one communicator to another. And you're not fooling me, Jazz. Furious, thinking that she's going to take on Senator Ted Cruz. It's funny.
Ted Cruz would be ideal.
Ooh.
He would be ideal to run against. I mean, he would be ideal. I would love to challenge Ted Cruz. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with y'all. I'm gonna just keep it real. This is the first time I've ever said that publicly, right? So y'all get in here.
I gotta admit it. I kind of love to see that magnificent loss you would face. Yeah, I would. Do you get what I'm saying about the word salad? She doesn't quite know where she's going, so she just keeps repeating something with more and more emphasis, and she's trying to channel that ghetto thing. And I'm sorry, you're still like the private school girl from Missouri who grew up in a middle-class household with two parents, had a lot of advantages that, frankly, the people that you purport to represent, Jasmine, do not. Absolutely do not. And yet this is who they are looking to possibly to take on Ted Cruz. I mean, I think it'd be kind of funny because it's not going to happen. I mean, fortunately, Texas is still, got its wits about them. And I don't think people in Texas want to really gravitate towards someone like this, who, by the way, is out there purporting to stand for peace and defund the police, all while simultaneously encouraging violence. I mean, you listen to this quote with me and you tell me what you hear. Here is Jazzy talking about Cruz just a few months back.
I think you punch. I think
really?
You're okay with you okay with punching. I think and I love Colin. And I think towards the end, he started to punch a little harder. But, like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? Like, there is no niceties with him, like, at all. Like, you go clean off on him, right?
Whoa, right? No, this is not actually how we want our politicians talking. And I think that the fact that she's doing this and talking like this actually should be a big distress signal. Now they say, oh, we don't care, because Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. And in fact, we need people that can be this wild and this sort of crazy. And you've got a lot of folks right now on that side of the aisle that are coming out in favor of her, from pundits to radio show hosts. I mean, here's this podcast guy, Charlemagne or whatever his name is. Oh, I know he's hard to watch, but just bear with me. Part of my job here is to show you what the other side is saying and what the other side is thinking, so that one, how off it is, frankly. I mean, as soon as you see it, like, it hits you over the head. But two, like, how serious they are about this craziness. Here we go. This is Charlemagne on some podcast somewhere. Okay, so his point is she's a good performer.
Of her issue.
Okay, I get it. Okay, the woman performs. Does that make a good representative? Does that make a good senator? Does that make a good politician? No, and no. Right? AOC. Apparently, she can dance a hell of a salsa because she took those salsa lessons on taxpayer money, right? Like, that's a whole other investigation going on by the ethics committee. Ethics committee needs to look at all that big spending that Jasmine Crockett's really into, flying all over the world to the likes of Doha so she can be put up to the tune of $17,500 in the Waldorf Astoria. I'm sorry, that's kind of messed up. And you know what else is messed up? This thing. Okay, so here's this woman. She actually hosts a radio show. And this is funny because, do you guys remember Barry Goldwater? Anyone? I feel like Ben Stein, right? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I really do. I like Ben a lot. I've known him for a lot of years. Anyway, Ben Stein, it said to, anyone, does anybody remember Bill Miller? And he was running as on that ticket with Goldwater. So it was Barry Goldwater and Bill Miller. And I know this in part because my mother actually, like, years ago when she was in college, she campaigned for one Barry Goldwater. like Hillary, okay? Back when Hillary was conservative. And Barry Goldwater is like sort of, big libertarian guy. Well, his VP, Bill Miller, had a daughter. Her name is Stephanie. And Bill Miller, in a weird sort of coincidence, lived next door to my husband growing up in the Buffalo area. And Stephanie, this woman who's on the floor, all right, kissing the feet of Jasmine Crockett, poor James, Stephanie was his babysitter. But that was, I guess, back when, Stephanie was a conservative because her dad was the running mate of one Barry Goldwater. Anyway, Stephanie Miller is down acting like a mental case, as Lives of TikTok points out. My poor husband, having to have been subjected to that as a kid, right? She's down there kissing the feet of Jasmine Crockett. And it's weird. Like, it reminds me of the time that Drew Barrymore got down on her knees and was like, I don't know, what was it, begging Dylan Mulvaney, remember the Bud Light fame, for some kind of forgiveness and, so deferential and we love you, and down on my knees. Well, this woman, Stephanie, decided to take a step further. She's down there kissing the feet of one Representative Jasmine Crockett. It's weird. I mean, these people are really, really weird, but there's something to be said for it. It's kind of a power play. It's like, you are our queen. We love you now, Jazzy. And this was not lost on my friend Jesse Waters on the 5 last night. He's like, this is a total power play. And he had kind of a funny story about it. I want you to listen because it kind of articulates the sort of attitude, I think, that is this moment. Here we go.
I was in middle school and I was in high school and we were at this playground just playing around. And these kids who we weren't really friends with, we didn't know them. For some reason, they threw a rock at Adam's head and it hit him in the head. And he was mad and he was sad. And so I was bigger than these kids. So I went up to these kids and I made these kids bow down and kiss Adam Dallas's feet. And we still talk about it today. I was so proud of that. He was proud that I did that for him.
Good friend. Yes, good friend. But you see the symbolism in that. In other words, these kids were picking on. So Jesse's pointing out, like, that's a big deal if you're going to go down and kiss someone's feet, right? That's kind of a big, big deal. And they're kissing the feet of one Jasmine Crockett, which just tells you how freaking desperate they are. But